The human race. A complicated and unlikely occurrence in the fabric of time and space. We have some of the most complicated bones, joints, and most importantly brains of all existence. The biggest question we could ask ourselves is this: how did we get here? Humans were fully exposed to the idea of evolution in the 19th century, when Charles Darwin began his writings, though the idea was around for quite some time before him, and this is where our story begins. The reason we're human, the very thing that makes us, us. It started with a change, a mutation. Let us begin with Australopithecus. This human relative was found in East Africa, and it had survived for more than 900,000 years. Having had both human and ape-like characteristics, these beings were bipedal, meaning they walked on both legs, while still having a smaller cranial capacity. It was usually 1/3 of the average human brain. This was partially because of the face proportions, which were still large, with a flat nose and a protruding lower jaw. They were similar to chimps in the sense that they grew up faster than modern humans. They spent less time with their parents, and there was much less time for socializing in childhood. Homo habilis, or the handyman, if you prefer the term, was one of the earliest members of the Homo genus. He had long arms and a slightly protruding face, though it was smaller than that of the Australopithecus. This left room for a larger cranial capacity. You may also be wondering why he was called the handyman. This was because he was what scientists believed to be the maker of the first stone tools. Homo erectus, having elongated legs and shorter arms. This breed of human was the first to possess modern human-like characteristics. Their structure indicates that they lost the adaptations for climbing and were beginning to mutate and change to adjust to life on the ground. Scientists theorize that these humans matured near the same rate as a great ape. It is also said that these creatures cared for old, young, and weak members of the society. These creatures are believed to be the first humans to expand beyond Africa. Neanderthals, or Neanderthals. These are the closest cousins to modern-day humans, though they had a larger middle part of the face, including huge nose and narrow cheekbones. They had brains as large as ours. These humans were by far one of the most fascinating. They used more sophisticated tools. They tamed fire, lived in makeshift houses, wore clothing. They hunted, harvested, and even decorated. They were even said to bury their dead and mark the graves with flowers or other offerings, which was something no other human had done before. Cro-magnon men. The Cro-magnon men were simply European early modern humans. These humans were well built and had a solid muscular form. Their forehead was straight and not sloping like a Neanderthal's, and had a very slight brow ridge. Instead of a muzzle-like face, it was only their chin and nose which protruded. Their cranial capacity, however, was shockingly large, though their physical makeup was very like ours. Homo sapiens, modern humans, us, have all the things that make us human. We have larger brains, and our skull has evolved to make room for such a massive and fascinating organ. Our faces have become vertical, and we have no brow ridge as opposed to our ancestors. Our jaws are also smaller, and our teeth, not having to grind so hard to chew our food, and no longer being what I will refer to as a hands-on predator. We have a very light structure and are not as heavy as our cousins. Now, how exactly did humans get to North America, of all places? Scientists theorize that there was a bridge connecting Asia and Alaska, and when that bridge fell, so did our connections to the other humans. We developed and grew and have become top dog when it comes to other species, all for the sake of unlikely survival.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.